Hey, Tony Gaxa here, popping in. I seen this thing that was sent to me, and it was another one of these series. I watched the first 9 videos, and I like to watch this stuff if I can to learn from it and just learn the different patterns and things of that nature. And it is very interesting to me. And I know the lady, she's building up in the story, but in the first 9 parts, just as a man looking from the outside in, it sounds like she's dealing with a man who like raised himself or something, like had like abandonment issues, like a man who just doesn't really. It's almost like he doesn't really want a relationship. He kind of wants a nanny. So her story in these first 9 parts, it sounds like a man with a little bit of money sleeping with the nanny, but he's calling her fiance to make her feel like what y'all call future faking. And he's a black man, she's a white woman, and it's called Who TF Did I Almost Marry NFL edition, which he played in the NFL, but it has nothing to do with the NFL, which I don't think that was a smart move on her part because her whole series could get taken down by her putting NFL in it, because the NFL, if they find out about it, which I doubt they know about it yet because it's not really a lot of likes on the videos. Like the first one I seen, like maybe 18K, could be higher now, but after that it dropped from 18K to like, I don't know, 3-4K. So I don't think the NFL front office know about it yet, but it might get taken down because it has nothing to do with the NFL, and those are very powerful 3 letters when you put them together. And she telling her story, and even on part 9, she talking about 2017. So this was a long time ago. She took her time and going through her therapy and all of that. And a lot of the terms she's using, even in the description, are like therapy terms. It's not terms we use as life coaches. And it makes sense that at this point she would have healed for the most part. Sometimes healing could be a lifetime journey, but she would have healed, and she telling her story. And unfortunately, a lot of it right now to me sounds stereotypical. Like if you're a white woman and you've never been around black men to where like you could hear what black men are talking about when talking about white women, then she may not know that that is like the idea. Like that's a lot of black men who date a black woman to use her, not organically, not authentically. Like there are black men who they have a white fiance, a white wife, and they genuinely love her, appreciate her, respect her. But there are men who, when they need a live-in nanny, they need a do girl, they will go get a white woman if they're of another race, because they've just heard and seen how that group of women, a lot of the women in that group will do pretty much anything for a relationship. And then at that point, of course, she had a little more desperation because she had 3 kids. And y'all know how a lot of men see a woman with 1 child. So having 3 children, dating isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world. And then not only dating, but to have a former NFL player that wants you and wants you with 3 children, it's going to lead to a little bit of excitement because you're like, wow, okay, I get to not only date after being looked at like I got a scarlet letter A on my back, or being mistreated sometimes, or put in a box by certain people. Not only do I get to date, but I get to date a man of means who has a little bit of money at least. And so what he showed, he showed some money. But as we know, money goes down. If he don't have a way to keep bringing it in, then the money gonna go down. And so around like the part 8, part 9, you can kind of start to see the money going down because he sell his house. He end up selling it on a short sale. That let me know that's a sign of starting to go broke. And then he gets another house. He gets a big house, 9,500 square feet, but he decides he wants to do the renovations themselves. So like him and her. So they doing what she said is a $350,000 job themselves. And I just could, you know, I could only picture the face of like a black woman if her quote unquote fiance got her to relocate with her 3 kids and then had her cooking and cleaning and driving his other kids around all the time. He would have got cussed out so long ago. And she did a little cussing too. Like she showed a text message where she told him, I'm tired of this S, like I ain't putting up with this. And she said the man didn't tell her he loved her for 2 years. And the term she used in the caption, it lets me know that maybe coming up is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. But it's really interesting. It's just something to learn from because you can look at it. Me personally, I don't necessarily, if a woman isn't having like physical hands put on her, and I understand like the emotional side of things, but as so far what she going through is kind of something to where it sounds like it's gonna get deeper, I'm guessing, but at this first 9 parts, it sounds like she fell in love with the idea of love. But her idea, her fantasy, her hope, her dream was not matching her reality. And she didn't want to pinch herself and realize that he was future faking, as y'all call it. That's not my term. And he was selling her a dream. And then also, I'm not sure what their life was like in the bedroom. And I don't think that a woman would be so hooked on a man because of what's going on in the bedroom. I don't believe that. I know some people, well, some women have even said that it is so good they don't know how to leave. I don't know if that played a part in it. She didn't mention that part, but she thought the marriage was coming, she said, so she agreed to start a family with him. And if y'all seen, I did a video on that, and that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of women make of agreeing to start a family with a man before being married and just hoping that he's gonna marry you. It's a huge, huge gamble. And it's just not something that you should do intentionally. Like you kind of almost doing it intentionally if you doing what it takes to get pregnant and you doing it meaning unprotected, you kind of almost doing it intentionally. But when you set out and like plan it, like, hey, we're gonna do this because we're gonna get married, that's not a smart idea. And especially when you already seeing other signs. Like it's one thing if you say, I'm gonna take this chance and I see no other signs. Like she said she already got friended by a lady on Facebook, and she go to Facebook and him and the lady, they kissing, they vacationing. That was from like early on. And then after that, he doing interviews and he's saying he's still married and he got 3 kids and they bought a farm. And she is right there with him and sleeping with him. And she looking at the articles like, what's up? Like, why you saying you married? And then he's saying that he didn't say he was married. He said that was his ex-wife, and he referred to her by her name. And so it's kind of like he playing with her and leading her on. But he really, in his first 9 parts, he treating her like a do-girl. And she living like that. And then she complained about, having to drive his kids around and all of that. And then she said he started to alienate her from the kids, which basically what she was saying, she kind of saying it in a way to where it wasn't like him respecting her wishes because she complained about it. She's saying that he kind of tried to punish her by not bringing the kids around at all. And she really loved them and cared for them. And I can't really wrap my head around the part of him bringing home dogs all the time and animals all the time. Like he loved animals. And so they had 2 rabbits. Then they got 2 other animals that I've never heard of. And then by the name she used, I don't know if that was a dog or what it was. And then he brought home 2 more dogs, but they was Great Danes. and she pretty much got a newborn. And then he got his kids coming over, and then she got her 3 kids. So now she got 4 kids plus his kids plus 50 animals. And I mean, Brady Bunch on steroids. But the fact that she stayed and she got her thing have over 50 parts. So she's a top dot Tessa wrestler. But Tessa Russell was in a Target commercial I seen last night. So she came up off that commercial. I mean, off her story. So she got on a Target commercial. They probably paid her, some thousands. And a commercial don't pay a whole lot for what she did. It could have been free, but she could even got a grand or 2 or 5 grand. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see what it turns into, like for this young lady telling her story. And my thing is, I just hope that this stuff don't get taken the wrong way. Like, I hope everybody could tell their story. I done told my story. I just seen an idiot in the comments trying to use my story against me on the interview that I did with somebody. I blocked them. I mean, just kind of going through my story or what I done told. And basically she's saying she only want to hear from people who done been perfect all their life. Like people who ain't made no mistake. People who, she want a man who always been a good guy to give advice. And it's like, he can't give advice. If he's always been a good guy, he's never done anything wrong. He can't tell you what to watch out for, what to look for. So I'm all for people telling their story. And I just hope that it doesn't bring out too many people that just kind of start using it as a come up. And what y'all don't realize is like no good deed goes unpunished. So what you have to be careful of with this stuff as well, like while it's still early and it's still new, you're probably going to get a lot of the pure stories, like women who really want to tell their story. They really want to get it out and they want to help other women. But in a little while, what you're going to see is a man with a woman and they corroborate, or a woman with her homegirls, and they say, hey, let's tell fictional stories that never happened, but to go viral, and we're going to make hundreds of thousands or millions. And you're going to start to see, now this lady right here, that's not the issue because she get this man first and last name. And she say everything she got backed up, which for me, it seemed a little weird that someone will have text messages, screenshots from 10 years ago. Like, to me, it's just not common. Like, I done deleted my text thread with my wife a million times just because if it get too long, or if you send something in the text message that you don't want, if your phone get found, it's confidential information or sensitive information, or it's like pictures you done sent or something like that, or like if I send my picture of my driver license or my passport, like I'm gonna delete the text thread and without saving it to a cloud. So I find that strange, but I know a lot of women do that. I'm not sure that's a practice for most men of like saving every single message. I do know my wife holds on to all of her pictures that she done ever took with her phone for the most part. And that also kind of speaks to that. So maybe it's just like a woman's nature but I just don't understand having text messages from like a decade ago. Like that really doesn't add up to me. It's almost like she was going in expecting something to go wrong. Like, hey, this is an NFL player. This is like a high profile situation, like ex-NFL player. If something goes wrong or if I ever need this against him, and it just kind of, that kind of, throwed me off a little bit, but, to each their own. But it's interesting, something you can learn for. I ain't got nothing else to do. The Olympics playing right now, so I'm watching Olympics, and I'm gonna watch some more videos. My wife was talking to me about it. She ain't watched it either, but I'm gonna watch a little more videos and see what it's talking about. But right now, it looked like just a normal situation at first. Which that's the thing too. Is like a lot of times people use all these big old terms and all these therapy terms and all this, and don't realize that this finna be every man you meet. Like for this initial stuff right here, she dealing with not every man literally, but it's like he ain't put no hands on her. He not cursing her out yet. Like, ain't none of that. It just sounds like he's selling her a dream. and she believed in it. And then because she kept going, it got deeper and deeper and deeper, and she hot by it, and she want him to pay for it in the sense of exposing them or what have you. But at some point too, we also as adults have to have some accountability and say, hey, I played the fool. Like I bought into this and did this. Oh, okay. So yeah, but I'm gonna watch some more of it and probably touch on like every 9 episodes, since that's what I did this time. But my wife just came to my office window and told me the 200-meter semifinals about to come on, so I got to go. God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.